If you can keep me.
I think there's the restraint that she has in this. It's she's playing with her audience. She's playing with how much she gives, how much she takes.
So I love what she said about restraint. To me, that's vocal control. That's what I heard when she said restraint. She's playing with the audience. That's vocal control. So this is going to be a little different than what I'm usually giving y'all here on this channel. I don't do this a lot, but I like doing this because it gives kind of a different perspective and a different way of talking about the voice versus just doing performances and recordings of people singing or people using their voice. This is a video where CYNTHIA ERIVO sits down with Entertainment Weekly and talks about some of her favorite vocal performances. So she gives such great insight to why she loves these vocals in particular. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool if I gave a voice teacher perspective / interpretation / translation into what she's saying, to kind of say, okay, this is how these people made this sound, or this is what she's referring to. You can try this stuff at home if you want and see if it works for you. You know, so giving a perspective like that on how she's explaining the voice. Now be clear, she's explaining this stuff so well. I'm just adding to what she's saying. I'm not saying she wrong. I'm not saying she, no. I'm just adding to what she's saying. She explains it well by herself. This video stands alone by itself. I just thought it would be fun to add on my personal take on some of this stuff and my voice teacher, voice science, acoustics, anatomy take on what she's saying, you know? So what I'm gonna try to do is just let each segment play, and then I'm gonna give some pointers after each artist segment that she gives, okay? But if something does come up that I wanna stop and say real quick, I may stop the video, but I'm gonna try to just let each segment play, okay, y'all? So let's join CYNTHIA ERIVO in talking about some of her favorite performances. Let's do it.
I love it so much. It's what is really special about this particular performance in this moment is that she is doing like several different things with her voice at the same time. There's like this wonderful like husky rasp in her voice at the same time as like flipping it up into her head voice and then bringing it back into her. There's like a coloratura going on at the same time. It's just really, really beautiful, and you don't get to hear her sing jazz very often. And so to hear her singing this particular song is really, really special. And fun fact, I happen to know the MD who worked on this with her, and because he's also an MD that works with me a lot. His name's Ricky Minor. And so it's wonderful to watch younger Ricky Minor in the background of this as well. And it's kind of special.
If you can keep me.
I think there's the restraint that she has in this. It's she's playing with her audience. She's playing with how much she gives, how much she takes, when she wants to give more and when she wants to take it back away, and how loud she wants to be and how quiet she wants to be. It's simple in that it's so pure that she's standing and singing, and it's gorgeous.
And I ain't never going nowhere unless you share the fire.
I've never tried to recreate this at all. I don't know if I'm brave enough to do it yet. If there's ever like a dedication or something, or a big event where they're like, oh, this is to honor Whitney Houston, then I might suggest, should we just try and attempt to do this? Lord knows if we can, because there was only one Whitney Houston.
So I love what she said about restraint. To me, that's vocal control. That's what I heard when she said restraint. She's playing with the audience. That's vocal control. She's controlling that song. For those who don't know, it's like 3 big songs she does in this big old medley. I did a whole analysis on this video. I'll make sure I tag it or put it in the description box. But she does like this 3-song medley of 3 huge songs. And CYNTHIA is so right. She plays with her voice in so many ways, Whitney does. And I love the fact that Whitney has this vocal control where she just plays and does these register flips, these yodel flips in her voice, and how she flips through these different registers, the different sounds. You know, she kind of brings in some classical sounds, brings in some jazzy sounds. This performance is just so poised and sophisticated in the best way. And again, these are 3 hard songs to do, and Whitney did them back to back. I would never attempt it either. Not on a good day. I mean, the Lord must come down to me and tell me, Jaren, sing these 3 songs together. Otherwise, I'll do one. Probably wouldn't do one, but I'll probably probably will say woo to whoever gonna do it, and I'll help you out. You know, I'll coach you, but I ain't gonna do it myself. And to be able to navigate through so many big songs in a short amount of time, you have to have vocal control because you have to know your own vocal stamina, how much energy you have vocally and physically to get through a song like that, where to play stuff. Because if you're doing 3 big songs, every song can't be big, belty, bright, and high. Pick and choose where you want to play stuff, how you want to play with the song, so you stay in control of the song for the whole time. And that's one thing Whitney did in that performance. She stayed in control. So she picked when she wanted to go to head voice. She picked when she wanted to be bigger, beltier, classical, maybe longer vowels, or, you know, more shorter, restrained with some runs. She really picked when she wanted to do those things. So that vocal control and intentionality are key components to try to pull off stuff that Whitney did. But again, I agree with Cynthia. There's only one Whitney. You got it, girl. I'm gonna just watch your video doing it and I'm not gonna try it. Okay?
Let me see that thong. Baby, that thong.
Why do you need to sing like this when singing about a thong? That whole end section, the whole end section of this song is so unnecessary. You have a key change. There's a praise break at some point in this with his voice. It's ridiculous. You don't need to sing like that, and he does. He's just enjoying himself, and the voice is doing what it's meant to be doing. Can we just fast forward to towards the end and turn it up? Why do you need to do that? Why do you need to sing that? Baby, said I like the way. Why do we need this? I don't think you heard me. Said I like the way. You move that thing. And this is going to go on for a full minute or two. Baby, oh, whoa. It has to continue. And you're still singing to the end of the song. You're singing about a thong. You can't tell me that that's not a good vocal, because it is a good vocal. That's a brilliant vocal for a song about a thong. It's so much. And he just keeps going. I don't think you heard me. We did. We heard you. I just love how he uses his voice for something that you wouldn't expect a voice to be used for. Now, are there other performances of Sisqó's that merit this? Probably. But I just was like, this is the one that didn't need him to do that, and yet he did. Hats off to you.
I love how she said his voice is being used in a way that is not needed to be used, or whatever she said, talking about how he's singing like this about a thong. I love that, because to me that's art. That's art to me. That's vocal, audible art that you don't need to sing about a thong like this, but because you can, you do it. Why not? It's art. It's art. It's your vocal expression. So if you want to do it like that, do it up. You got one life to live. Sing how you want to sing. You know what I'm saying? And what she's talking about, that praise break, that's church. This whole song, how he sings is church. It's quartet, essentially. Like gospel quartet. Look it up if you don't know what that is. Gospel quartet. But he's singing like he in church. I don't think you heard me. That's church. That's like a rebuttal or like a response in church in an ad lib. Like you hear this stuff in church all the time. In church, you might be talking about a thong necessarily, but the essence in his vocal delivery and how he paces his voice and how he's using his vocal colors, that's church. He church. Quartet, church. And it had a little grit. I don't think you heard me. Had a little air pressure compression moment. I don't think you heard me. Yeah, it's church. It's church, y'all. I may need to do a video on Sisqó, to be honest. I haven't done a video on him yet. Maybe I need to do one on Sisqó. What y'all think? Put it in the comments if I should do a video on Sisqó. And what I love about her inserting this as one of her favorite performances is that it's such a wild card in the best way. You wouldn't think, oh, Thong Song is Cynthia Erivo's favorite vocal performance, but it's such a wild card. I love the appreciation of art that she gives in this video, of different types of art. It's not just musical theater. It's not just, no, it's just vocals, period. So we talk about Thong, we talk about, you know, I Love You, Porgy, you know, from an opera, you know, we talk about jazz, you know, so she gives so many different types of music, types of vocal styles that she appreciates. That's art. That's art. So like, diversify your ear, listen to other stuff besides what you're normally listening to. You know, try new things. Like, oh my gosh, you know.
Oh, baby, sweet Jazmine. We are watching an 11-year-old Jazmine Sullivan play Dorothy in The Wiz singing Home. and it's spectacular.
It would sure be nice to be back home where there's love and affection.
This little girl is just singing her heart out, and it's unbelievable. She's so restrained about it. She's still making particular choices about how to sing and what to sing. It's just really beautiful. And it's actually very simple. I love watching this performance. It's so special. She's brilliant. Why can you do that when you're 11? Why? Why? It's so ridiculous. Because she actually doesn't do it very often. It's just such a clever thing. It's such an intelligent thing to do, where you wait till the very end and you give them exactly what they're waiting for. And that is real control. That is real understanding of how to paint a picture with a song. And she's doing it at the age of 11. What? I'm undone. I can't deal with it. I'm sorry.
I did a video on Jazmine Sullivan's performance of Home at 11 years old. I did it. I put it in the description box or somewhere on this video as well. But the same thing CYNTHIA ERIVO said, I said. It's like the fact that you're thinking like this as an 11-year-old is insane. When I was 11, I was thinking about Pokemon. I was thinking about runs, all like that. Like, I don't think I started doing runs for real till I got more so like into like a middle school, like a 13, 12. Like, I may have done a little bit of runs like an 8, 9, 10, 11, but I wasn't thinking like that at 11 years old. Absolutely not. Jazmine's vocal choices equals control. Cynthia said she was clever. That's mental, that's intentional, that's control, that's I'm picking to do certain things. Jazmine sang melody for the most part in that song, but then she chose to do runs at specific times. And then she sprinkled what the audience was waiting to hear when the audience wanted to hear it at the time that it was supposed to be at, versus trying to show all your colors at the beginning. Give them something to look forward to. Give them something to surprise them. Don't show your cards at the first verse, you know, let the melody speak. And I love how Cynthia called her clever. That's a term of the brain. I'm thinking, I'm being thoughtful in how I'm singing. I'm not just getting up there and doing it. Jazmine at 11 years old is singing like this. And it's the same intention Jazmine uses now. You can hear the same Jazmine. It's just an 11-year-old version of Jazmine. But Jazmine got the same mind and the same runs and the same wherewithal. Like, she just got it. She just got it, you know?
Let me tell you something. If there was ever a person who could teach you about how to use the muscles in your face to make sound, this is the lady you need to be watching. And I have had the pleasure of working with her up close. There is a mastery that she has over working with the resonance that you get in your face, in your mouth, where your tongue lays, how your vocal cords can move, that she is using in this that I've never really seen anyone else do, which is sometimes difficult, but she just enough to make sure that the sound does what she wants it to. We're coming up to the most difficult part, I think.
I'm not living without you.
Here we go.
See, that's just no way. That's not.
This song progressively gets difficult because now she'll continue and then she has this huge note. I'm not gonna leave, there's no way I will.
I'm not gonna leave it. There's no way I will.
This is it. One breath. One breath. That's when she takes a breath. That's why it's difficult. Because that's how you're supposed to sing it. There's no breath. She has one long note that changes notes all the way through, and then we're back into the song. That's why it's hard, because it doesn't get easier. It's just a hard song. In this video, she looks like she's 6 foot. This lady is my height. I'm 5'1". So to know that all of that sound is coming out of this person and understanding just like what it's coming out of is also insane. She just is like a true powerhouse, and I wish we had more of her.
I love what Cynthia said about the changes in the mouth and how you shape your mouth. That's articulation. That's resonance, because your mouth is part of your vocal tract. So if I change the shape of my mouth, my sound changes. We hear that in language because I'm making words with my lips and my teeth and my cheeks and my tongue and all these other articulatory muscles. We interpret that as words, right? So even how I change the shape of a word, like Jennifer did, I came from a more darker, more back space type of resonance to more of a front, twangy, brighter space on and. You see my tongue kind of gets raised a little bit. That's what Cynthia's talking about. How she shapes her mouth directly affects how the sound comes out. So when I change my tongue shape or my mouth shape, my articulatory shapes in some way, shape, or form, I'm changing the sound therein because I'm changing the vocal tract, because the mouth, the articulatory space, the oral cavity is all a part of your vocal tract because the sound travels out of your mouth. So wherever the sound travels out of is part of your vocal tract. I'm not gonna leave you, there's no way I will. Now she's adding some other things like some twang, some narrowed vocal tract moments, more of a brighter sound in that way, maybe a little nasality too. But that tongue and that mouth is definitely a part of the sound that Jennifer Holliday makes when she sings this And I Am Telling You. I mean, this song is so physical. I mean, you saw her, I'm not gonna leave you, there's no way. You can see, I mean, that whole body is moving. So you have to do that in order to sing And I'm Telling You the correct way, you know, as well as the breath that Cynthia mentioned as well. Those long breaths and everything. I mean, it's a hard song. And even how Cynthia talked about how the chords move, it's even how she adds the grit, how she adds the different sounds. That's why I was talking about the twang a little bit. So the vocal folds themselves, where you house the vocal folds right there in the lyrics, she's changing the shape of that by giving some twang or some nasalities, whatever you want to call it. She's doing some different things, Jennifer is. So then as a result, she's adding different sounds. When she does that compression, that grit sound, she's probably compressing the larynx together a little bit to false vocal folds. Not gonna leave you, and I am. You know, she's adding that compression, that distortion to the sound to get those other vocal colors. So Cynthia's right. She's changing the shape and the sound of her vocal cords, her vocal folds, to get the sound out too.
Being my mother, my brother, my father, or my sister.
Come on!
Would you believe I'll get up, put on some clothes, go out, and help him find somebody for theirself if I can. Yes, I will.
So rude. It's so crazy. It's so rude. It's like she's playing for herself. It just doesn't matter if anyone else is in the room. She just is like, oh, I feel like this. I'm going to do this again. Oh, I like how that sounds. I'll do it again. Let me do it one more time.
The man sure makes me feel real good.
I love this because she is just having a good time. And she's at the piano, she's playing. The song is called Dr. Feelgood. And that is not a sound that's supposed to come out of a person when you're sat down. She's like belting. And I like to think of myself as an Aretha connoisseur because I have listened to her ad nauseum and have had to play her. So I know that there are times when it sounds like she is belting or wailing, and she is not. She is actually placing the voice in a specific part of her voice. So it sounds like there's lots of sound coming out, but actually it's further back and it's quieter. It just, the quality sounds like it's a belt or a wail. In this, she is wailing and belting. You can see it on her face. You can see it in the way she's singing, in her body. It's just such a physical performance that you can hear in her voice, and I just love it.
The fact that Aretha is sitting at a piano, playing for herself, singing like that, Cynthia's right. You would not expect that sound to come out of somebody who's sitting down, chilling, playing the piano. Aretha is just a gift. She is just a gift. And I love what Cynthia said about her belting and the quality that you think that she's wailing all the time, but she's not. Yes, 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 yes. I talk about this with my clients all the time, that you can get that power that you want, that presence in your thick folds, your more chesty sound if you want, or just a lighter sound without all the added weight. One way to do that is using a little twang. Another way to do that is maybe how you place it, maybe making it more nasal, you know, playing with the different colors of your voice, how you place your voice. Some people call that resonance, but how you place your voice. And the place is really coming from where you feel the vibration, where you feel the activity of your acoustics happening, if you will. Of course, your vocal folds, you don't place your voice anyway. Your vocal folds are always going to sit in here because that's where they're housed. But how you place your voice is where you feel the energy happening in your body. And everybody has different ways of achieving this sound depending on what they want to do. They may want it more thicker. They may want it more lighter and beltier and pingier. They may want it more twangier. There's so many different ways to think about this. It's just kind of what tools you want to use to accomplish what you want to accomplish in your belting. But Cynthia's right. Aretha doesn't always wail, wail, wail. She sometimes, to me, uses this twangy, really thick sounding, thin fold, heady sound. So it's almost like she's more thinner in the vocal fold closure here, but she's using some other methods like a twang or a placement, kind of like a forward in the mask. So as a result, you hear that power without the added weight. Because that's the problem with people with belting. People want to belt and think they have to bring that weight all the way up. No, 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 no. Let go of that weight and let your voice soar as you go up higher. So some ways to do that is maybe playing with a more whiny sound, a more twangy sound. Another way is maybe play with your mouth shape, make the mouth more wide, horizontal here as you're singing stuff. Kind of like that shape as you're singing the higher stuff, and maybe that'll help brighten up the sound without adding so much weight. And honestly, Aretha, like Cynthia said, the way she's singing like nobody else in the room, she just kind of chilling. The way she paced that song, the Dr. Feelgood, is church as well. Like dun 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 dun, you know how she's kind of pacing it kind of within the confines of the beat, but even that beat, that's old school church. If you heard that beat in church, you about to shout. Like whoever's singing that lead or whatever song is happening, oh, y'all about to go somewhere, because that beat just kind of just makes you dig in a little bit. When you hear that beat on a certain song, you know you about to go somewhere. So Cynthia's right. Cynthia is right.
Not the vocalese, not just the finding out where you want to be, not just discovering what else you can do. There's such a playfulness in the way he sings. It's not even, could you call it riffing? It's more like it's Luther Vandross's version of a scat. It's such a masterclass on how to do a performance and make it completely yours. It's why we know this song almost as though it's his song. And the song is Dionne Warwick's. But when we hear A House Is Not a Home, we hear Luther Vandross, because this is the version that we all are talking about. Can we play more of it?
But gloom, but a room is not a house,
He's up there.
and a house is not a
That's up.
when
The two of us.
we are far
For me, that's the middle of my range. For him, that's up there.
of us.
So, I know Dionne. She's so happy right now. It's so... It makes me want to swear. Continue playing it, please.
When I climb the stairs, when I turn the key, oh, please be there.
Saying that you're...
Still in love. You're sure in love with me.
Why are you doing that? And that's not even a riff. That is what you call a chromatic scale. And he just does a smooth chromatic scale just because he can.
Man, this performance from Luther is such a classic. I did a video on this one too. If you want to watch it, I put it in the description box or somewhere in this video. But what she's saying is so right. He's playing around and he's just singing because he wanted to sing. And he sounds good doing it, you know? And I love what she said about, would you call it riffing, would you call it running? Because those terms can get so murky, only because people have different interpretations of what those words mean, riffing and running. I personally define a run as like some sort of a scale that somebody does, you know, something like that. So like that's more of like a run to me, you know, something like that. That's like a run. But a riff could be something that's a little bit more playful and disjunct, if you will. So it kind of does intervals, it kind of jumps around. But a riff, some people will call a scale a riff, you know. People use those words interchangeably. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. I think it's up for interpretation what people want to call those things. But I also like what she said about he's kind of like doing a Luther scat, because he is like, he's doing moves that only he does, you know. And that's the beauty of this performance, that he's doing stuff that only he knows how to do. The scale, like he did before, that slide, that glissando, that upward slide, that chromatic upward slide that she's talking about. And you notice his voice quality changed in that scale right there. It went from like a low, dark, and it went to like a much more brighter spot at the top. So he changed the shape of his vocal tract pretty naturally, probably instinctively, as he traveled up that chromatic scale right there, that chromatic glissando, chromatic vocal slide right there.
Could believe you, then I'll be alright. But now everything you told me really don't apply.
The reason I really love this is because when she sings it, everything gets really quiet around her, and and it's like this acoustic guitar and a couple backing vocals. And you know, when I don't drink alcohol, but I know that sommeliers describe wines with notes. So you have like a top note and like the bass note and the middle, like what the notes that you get. Her voice has this sweet top note, but it's on top of something that's got like bass in it. So when you hear her voice, she has a natural vibrato that moves through her voice, which I love, because it means she never really has to put a vibrato on anything, and it's because it's already naturally there. And she has a natural yodel at the end of a phrase, which is really low. I only give you a hard time. It's like in the voice, the cry is in the voice.
I only give you a hard time, 'cause I can't go on and pretend.
That's just a natural thing that comes in, but that's like a natural characteristic of her voice, and it's so emotive. It's full of emotion. It's just an innate quality of storytelling within what she's doing, and it's really still, again, I'm like a purist for melody. If the melody's good, just sing the melody, and she's just singing the melody. Da, 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 da. It's really simple and easy, but it's so connected, which is why I love it. It's like there's just nothing around it, just her voice. And when you can just hear her voice, for me, it makes me really happy. I think she's one of the most skilled vocalists that we have of our time, to be honest. And it's just lovely to hear when it's just her. Yeah, I love it. It's very, very good.
Those yodel flips that she's talking about, that Cynthia's talking about Beyonce doing, I talk about those all the time in the videos that I do of Beyonce. I've done 1.5 million videos of Beyonce, but when she does those yodel flips, I always point that out because Beyonce does it so naturally in her vocal approach. And the consistent vibrato that Cynthia is talking about, to me, Beyonce has like a certain legato about her voice. The vibrato just kind of kicks in as soon as there's a phrase with some duration, a phrase with some length in it, like a word or a syllable with some duration in it, the vibrato usually kicks in. And it kind of has a more fluttered movement to it. You know, it's kind of a more faster movement to the vibrato. But yeah, she definitely has that consistent vibrato. You hear some of that vibrato in classical music where they talk about the legato and the consistent vibrato. Like, that's kind of what I associate vibrato being that consistent with. It's more of like a classical undertone, if you will. So yeah, I think Beyonce does some classical innuendos in her vocal delivery sometimes too, like the vibrato and certain things like that. And I love how Cynthia talked about being a purist for the melody. I always talk about let the melody do its job. That's what the composer wrote the melody for. Let the melody do the thing. You do your thing as well, but let the melody do the thing. So if you have nothing else, just sing the melody. Let the voice speak. Let the song speak for itself. You don't have to add all your tricks and everything for every single moment of the song. People will know you can sing when you open up your mouth and start singing, and you can sing the melody. To me, singing the melody takes control as well, because we always want to add on our own thing because you feel like we have to do something to kind of wow people. But no, if you just sing the melody, you know, more people than not can interpret the melody way more than they can interpret a run. Many people love the riffs and runs and love hearing that kind of stuff, including me. I love a good run and a good vocal trick, but I also love hearing the melody because that's what the song is. That's the meat of the song. That's the essence. That's the body of the song. You know, runs are like clothing, you know, and like, you know, a hair barrette, you know, or like a little added eyelash. But your actual physical body is what the melody of the song is. It's the actual being of the song. So adding on a red tie versus a yellow tie, or a red run versus a yellow run, maybe like a longer run over a short run, you know, like that sort of thing you can add to make it yours. But the body is what matters the most, you know, the inner working of the song is what matters the most, you know, and I love how Cynthia said that. I love that. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed watching it and just kind of discussing this with y'all a little bit. If you want to do more stuff like this, let me know in the comments, tag a video, tell me what you want, and I'll look into it, y'all, okay? So I hope y'all enjoyed, and as I will always say to you, be vocally bold, creative, and aware, but most of all, be vocally you. I love you so much. I'll see you soon.